Hi friends, Mickey Mankis here and welcome to Out the Back Door. Yeah, my eyes are still healing up from that conjunctivitis, but I wanted to do a garden update with you really quick, so come along. I just came out to our lawn garden I was going to water. I am not happy whatsoever. We had an issue with a deer getting into our garden probably about 5-6 days ago. We put up higher fencing because we had rope strung around the top portion trying to help deter it from trying to jump over. And this is what I just came out to. She managed to jump over the fence again. Let's see if I can get in here. What a mess. All right. The last time she was in here, she really went through the onions as she did again and trampled them down. For some reason, she's left the lettuce alone. She already chomped down the celery the last time, so I cut it all down and I used that up. But I see she's been eating here again. Okay, Mr. Mankis had just strung up the peas and she has eaten the tops off of almost every single one of them. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, she did. Look. She was eating on my pepper plants. All right, here we go. She's in the broccoli. I knew that was going to be a no-brainer. Ate more off the broccoli here. Okay, the one thing I was hoping to show you is, well, at least she hasn't been in the center. We have little baby broccoli growing. I don't know what else we're going to be able to do as far as except going to get like the 8 or 10 foot fence and put it up. We have green screen on the bottom here to keep the rabbits out, but then I don't know if you can see here, we had added this on top to bring it up. So when I'm standing out there, it's probably about my height, like 5 feet. I can see this is the way she came out because she leaped across that and pulled it down. So anyway, as I said, it's July 6th today, and I just wanted to kind of share an update with you of how the gardens were looking, because if you had watched my snowbank contest, you know, we were like, when's the snowbank gonna melt, you know, and I wasn't going to plant anything until June 6th or 7th. Well, I did push it a little bit, and I planted on June 4th because we had really, really warm weather. And I was just kind of holding my breath because last night, well, actually this morning when we woke up, it was 39 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I wanted to show you how well everything was growing just in 1 month. Again, here's the broccoli. And I tried to make sure to spread it out really far. Last year we had a bumper crop. Even our side shoots that were coming out were the size of regular heads of broccoli. Okay, the strawberry patch is all done. It's full of grass and weeds. I need to get in there and clean that out. We didn't have a very good crop of strawberries this year because it was so dry and we weren't keeping up on watering it really well, but we got a few. Okay, here's the tomato plants that I had bought and I had shown you. And look at how they've grown. This is the grape tomato plant. And this one is a purple Cherokee. So I've got some slicers and I see I've got to kind of push back, pull them back into the cages. The two on the end here are like an Amish paste type. Look at the size of the cabbage already, just in a month. This is just crazy. But as soon as I had planted it out here, I made sure that I got the fencing, well, not the fencing, but the cage over it with the mesh so that the moths didn't get in there and lay eggs. Here's what I did different. Yeah, nothing's planted out there. I covered it with plastic. You know, in the Bible, it says like every 7 years they let their fields rest and they don't plant. Well, we plant every single year in both the lawn garden and the bigger garden here. And I told Mr. Mankus, I said, you know, I kind of looked through the pantry and I said, we're okay for this year. I don't need to plant a ton of food. But I said, we're not going to put anything in the big garden. And he's like, well, now's a fine time to tell me, after he had, you know, he had brought in fertilizer and tilled it in and everything. And I said, but that's okay. As long as I'm covering it with the plastic, it'll hold the nutrients in and everything. Plus, it's a weed barrier. And that's what we do in the gardens. That's how I plant, is I put plastic down and then cut holes in it. And then I put my plants in there. And then that way it holds moisture in, it holds heat in. Plus, it's a weed barrier. It works out really slick for us. That's what I did different this year. I didn't end up putting any like real root vegetables. I didn't do potatoes, beets, carrots, any of that, because I still had enough in the pantry. And so it was time to give the garden a rest. I want you to check this out. It's crazy. This is strawberry spinach. I didn't plant this for the last 2 years. I did 3 years ago. This is all volunteer that's come up. And I mean, the seeds are so extremely tiny. I'm just amazed of what it did. But anyway, so I'm able to pick this. I use it the same way I would lettuce or any type of a green in salads. Okay, here's my spearmint. It's growing very well. In fact, I cut some down back here already. It just keeps continuing to spread, but I like to use the mint in water, and I make spearmint tea. I make spearmint jelly, and I also use it in soap making. So yes, we have an abundance of that. Now the honeyberry bushes. We had a bumper crop, and I see that I've still got some to pick. They did extremely well. Can we get a close up here? All right, there we go. In USA, we call them honeyberries. In Canada, I believe they're called haskap. And this is what I kind of use sometimes in place of blueberries. So we had a great bumper crop of that. So anyway, that is what we got going on right here. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick update on how the gardens are doing. And the deer have eaten all the hostas. They've eaten my flowers up in the front garden. What else have they eaten? They've been trying to get in the cages around like our fruit trees, the cherry trees, apple trees and that. They've been eating all the fresh green that they can grab off of there and snapping branches off. I'm really not happy with them this year. I've never had an issue this bad with the deer. Now, we do have a doe and has twins, and a doe with a single fawn, and they come in the yard a lot, but then we also have a couple of lone does that, yeah, so I don't know if I have to set up a game camera or whatever to see who's jumping. You know, I mean, I realize it's not deer season, but I'm going to go out there and smack them on the backside. Mr. Mankus has been good about keeping water in the buckets out on the food plots and stuff for the deer so that they have a water supply, because we've been in such a drought. Even the pond is going down big time because we haven't had any rain replenishing the groundwater or anything. So it's been kind of hard. I'm out here watering every day, and that's why I said I needed to come out and water the garden when I realized that the deer had gotten in there and had a smorgasbord again. All right. right, so anyway, that's the update I just wanted to share with you really quick of how everything was growing really well in 1 month's time. You have to remember we're in northern Minnesota. Our growing season is approximately 3.5 months. Maybe we can stretch it a little bit further, but that's about it. And I was really impressed with all this, and yeah, and I realize a lot of you down in the south, you're canning up all the food that you've already grown and harvested and everything. And good for you. I'm glad to hear that. So anyway, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.